Hi, Regina from Eat Travel Life. Today we are making creamy Tuscan chicken, and we've partnered with Hell's Kitchen Cookware to help us make life easier in the kitchen. We're going to be able to save time and money by cooking at home. And the best part about these pans? Metal utensils, you can use it on it. Perfect for families to use, especially when you're getting those kids started to learn to cook. Let's go ahead and get started.
Here are the ingredients you're going to need to make the creamy Tuscan chicken. And here's the ingredients you're going to need in order to make your crispy apple crisp. You're going to want to put oil in your pan and season the pan, just like you do cast iron, on medium heat. And go ahead and cut up your cherry tomatoes and preheat your oven. Let's go ahead and get that going too at 400 degrees. Place the cherry tomatoes in, and don't forget to add a little salt as well. And once all those cherry tomatoes are cut up, go ahead and put your pan into the oven. You'll want to cook it in there for about 15 minutes. They'll be a little bit dried out. Next, take your chicken and go ahead and put that down on your cutting board. Trim off any excess pieces that you wouldn't want to eat, and follow up with salt and pepper on both sides of the chicken. We're making a healthy version of this today, and we are using chicken breasts versus chicken thighs, and we're going to use half and half instead of heavy cream. And we're not using wine. The chicken breasts are also butterflied and cut in half for smaller portions. So let me know in the comments, what is your favorite chicken dish to make? If you haven't already, now would be a good time to hit the subscribe button. So we're going to do salt and pepper, like I said, on both sides of the chicken. While we're waiting for the cherry tomatoes to get done, we're going to go ahead and start on the apples. Go ahead and grab your apples in a different cutting board and peel them. And this is about 4 larger sized apples that we use to make the crisp. So we're kind of multitasking while we're waiting for one thing to be done to work on the other, and things will come out just about at the same time, which makes it perfect and easy to do. We're also using a baking apple like Fuji or Gala. You could make this with any type of crisps. Let me know in the comments what your favorite crisps to make is. Apple, blueberry, cherry. And here's a trick I like to do to cut my apples. Instead of cutting them off of little bit by little off of the core and peeling that out, I now cut them into squares, trying to make sure that the seeds don't get in there. Sometimes they do, and you just cut it out. But if you cut the core out, you don't have to worry about cutting around it, and it makes things go a lot quicker. Let me know if you already knew how to do that. We're just going to slice them up about evenly. You could cut these into chunks if you wanted, because it is apple crisp. My weeknight hack is to cut them into slices and be done to the next day. When I'm making this during the week, I don't have that kind of time, so we're just going to cut in slices. We're going to take our pan, we're going to add a little butter to it and get it melted, and add those apples in, because we want them to kind of get translucent while we're cooking. I would start out with just a teaspoon of butter, and if you need more, you can add more. But as you're cutting the apples, go ahead and put them in there. We're going to add a little lemon juice as well. Now it looks like those tomatoes are ready, so let's go ahead and pull them out of the oven. And I used a larger pan, the 11-inch pan, to make these, and just remove the cherry tomatoes. And I put sugar on my apples while they're baking. Not baking, cooking. Go ahead and give them a little stir, and let's go ahead and add in the lemon juice. And just keep an eye on them. We want them to cook down a little bit and be a little translucent, and then we're going to put the topping on and put them in the oven. Go ahead and take the 11-inch pan and add in a little oil, and go ahead on a medium heat, add in your chicken, and we're going to get this browned on both sides. This takes about 15 minutes total. You're going to want to make sure that it's brown, but not overly brown and burnt. And while that's cooking again, go ahead and add in the cinnamon into your apple crisp. We're going to make the crisp part in just a second and put that in the oven. Just go back and forth, keep an eye on your chicken and keep an eye on your apples, and turn them as needed, and we have a little bit of time to go ahead and make the topping for the crisp, and that's with oatmeal and brown sugar, a little flour, and some cinnamon. So we gotta tend to the chicken because it was browning perfectly. In total, this took about an hour to make. And there we're adding our butter and the cinnamon, and go ahead and give that a stir. Go ahead and stir this in. The butter could be melted a little bit more if you wanted, but it will work perfectly for this. We just want to make sure that all the flour is mixed in with the brown sugar and the oatmeal, and that the cinnamon is even as well. And then we will take this bowl and we will put it on, dump into the apples that have a little cinnamon in them as well. And we're going to put this in the oven and cook it for about 20 minutes. And I kept it at the same temperature as the Tuscan chicken. Normally it's about 350, but just keep an eye on it so it's not burning. It turned out wonderful. Now back to the chicken. We're going to go ahead now and add in our onions, and we're going to add in the garlic. And just stir that in. And you're going to want to add in your chicken stock as well. You don't want your garlic to burn. And this is still all over a medium-low heat. And here is why I want to talk about putting the half and half of cream in. This needs to be done after you put it into the oven. I did not do that, and it curdled a little bit. So I'm going to show you what happens and how I fixed it. So you can add in your tomatoes as well, and we're going to get this stirred in a little bit, and then place it in the oven and make sure that the chicken is 165 degrees Fahrenheit before we bring it out. The oven temperature was too high for the half and half, and it caused it to separate, but we can fix that with a little bit of water and flour. Go ahead and remove the chicken from the pan. I tried stirring it first to see if it would come back together, and it did not, so I put it back on the stove and added in cold water and flour in a paste, and added that in, and it thickened. And really helped it come back together. I'm just trying to get all of it back in. And then I added in the Parmesan cheese. And after I added in the Parmesan cheese, it made it look the same, like it was separated again. I added in a 1/4 cup of half and half, and that really helped bring it back together. And then I had baby spinach. If you have regular spinach, just go ahead and chop it and add it in there until it wilts. And then you can put your chicken back in and let it cook for about 5 minutes, and your dish is done. And then we put the chicken back in. I use my metal tongs, worry-free here with Hell's Kitchen cookware, because I can do that. It's virtually impossible to scratch. And we finished this dish off with a little salt and pepper to taste. And doesn't that just look delicious? And we got some apple crisp too, can't forget that. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.